this, and we will be doing a live video of us cutting some very beautiful styles. So please come along and watch and enjoy. Let us hear in the comment section, and please give us a like, comment what you think. See you. Let's get on with it. So we're going to be cutting this dress. So we're going to be cutting out this dress. This style is a puffy dress with it's long and has a slit at the back. So this will be cutting. Watch the camera. So the first thing to do is to fold our fabric into two, or fold our fabric into two, using our hip measurement plus the sewing allowance. If we're going to be using 2 inches sewing allowance, we're going to be adding 2 inches. If you are using 1 inch, we're going to be using hip divided by 4 plus that sewing allowance. In this case, I'm going to be using 2 inches. So the hip measurement is 44 and half, which is 11 with one line, 1/8 of an inch. So 1/8 of an inch plus 11 and 1/8 of an inch plus 2 inches, that's 13 with 1/8 of an inch. So this is 14. We don't want to waste our fabric. We just fold it back to the measurement. But most time, my personal law is better is in excess than it is not enough. But when you still have too much excess in a dress, it causes bulkiness and can make you walk a little bit ill-fitted. So 13. Then the next thing I do is the hem allowance. I use 2 inches. 2 inches hem allowance. 2 inches. So I'm just putting together, joining together the measurement. Then the next thing is our minus her shoulder to waist is 17. So I'll just minus that 17 out of it. I'll minus 17 out of it. And then I'll just take her full measurement. Her full measurement is 60. So 60 is what we have here plus seam allowance. So sorry, her full measurement is 62 and the Ankara length is not enough, so I have to flip it to the other side. Mind you, this cloth, the pattern, it's not a pattern cloth that I cannot switch. I can switch the pattern whichever side that I want. So the reason I'm refolding is because it is not up to her length. It is not up to her length. So I'm refolding simply because it is not up to the length of our customer's measurement. So the next thing I'm doing, I'm just measuring a hip refolding. How much I'm folding the fabric, like we said, 13 with 13 and 1/8 of an inch. 13 1/8 of an inch is what we have here. The next thing is to mark 2 inches. 2 inches. I'm marking out our 2 inches again. Don't forget we did it before. We're just trying to do it again so that we have enough fabric, enough space for our customers. So the next thing is to adjust the fabric length. Excuse me a bit. Just retaking our measurement to the length of our stomach, and now we have it. Yes, I'm so glad we could get it. So now we have the length of our customer. So I'll be working So the next thing is to mark out the hip. The hip depth is 10 inches and 13 inches with all the adjusted allowances. So like I said, my model's measurement is 11 inches with 1/8 of an inch, which is 11 to one line, and then 2 inches. 2 inches. So the down of her hip. So the down of her hip is 41.5. So let me rule out the hip line. Hip line 10 inches here, 13 inches here. So the down of her hip is rule straight. Reeling it out straight so that you see what we have. Then we're still going to mark out where our knee is, or the half cut of her skirt. So her waist, her hip line, her down of hip, and her waist. So the hip line, we've done the hip line, then the down of hip is 41.5. 41.5 is 10.5 with 2 lines. So we'll have it here like this, and then we have 2 inches. So the waist measurement, we're not going to be adding that to this skirt. So the waist measurement, her skirt waist is 36. 36 is 9 plus 2 inches. 2 inches. So the knee measured 36. Well, 36 is 9 plus 2 inches. So we'll just connect our measurements. We'll connect our measurements. So her knee round is 38. 38 plus 2 inches. So we have this. Then going to the hem, I'm going to be using 36 inches, which is 9. So 9 plus 2 inches. We have. So we're just going to connect the point like so. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and share. We'll be glad to always have you come by. So I'm just smoothing out any unnecessary edges on her fabric. So the next is to cut. Next is to cut. Okay, see how beautiful our skirt is, and it is well fitting. The next thing is to also fold and cut our back skirts. So we're going to use this side for our sleeve, so we don't have any waste. You can even use it for our bodies. So just fold. Please don't forget to like and comment. If you haven't subscribed, be our guest. Be our newest community member. We have great things lined up for us. So I'm just holding. This is my first ever live. I'm super excited. Like, it's so nice. I don't know how I'm doing yet, but I'm glad I'm doing it. I've been posting it for days, for weeks. So, this is a freehand cutting method. We are adding all our necessary allowances on pattern, where after making your pattern, you'll not be having the allowance while cutting. I'm just adding my allowance as I cut. So for now, we've prepped our fabric. It's properly positioned. The next thing, this is to extend the waist. So please, the skirt is quite long, so you have to be able to position. Okay. So this side is the zip allowance, and I'm using 1.5. Usually it's going to end up being a 1 inch allowance, because I'm going to use 1/2 inch to sew the lining to the dress. It's lined the dress, so when I take 1.5, I use 1 inch for what's it called, the lining piece. Then the 1 inch is what that's going to serve the purpose of a zip allowance. So the next here, don't forget, like, this one is very important, because you can make the mistake of cutting exactly the front piece. Don't forget, we did not add that allowance to this back, to this front, so now we have to add it, which is, I'm using 1 inch. On this side, I'm going to be taking out 1/2 inch. If you notice, 1/2 inch, you see that when you are cutting without replacing the half that you took out from this back to add it to the side, your allowance will not be short. So I added 1/2 inch allowance. So I'm just connecting. That's basically the only thing I'm doing. There's no exceptional contour or anything on this skirt. So this one is cutting out the zip, that part that used to cause a zipper bulge or fold. I'm cutting it out. I'm just fitting that back because of the slopiness on a human back. So we'll always do this for our fabric. So next thing is to just cut out. I'm done marking out. I'm just cutting it out. I'm just cutting it out. I'm cutting it out. So I'm going to cut it out from the other end so that I don't mess up too much. Just because you can see we are done. I'm just going to slit it out. But in case of a contour, what you just do, this half that we took out here, you also take half from the knee part, slant to the down of hip, and then just go straight down. But I'm not doing any contour for the skirt. This person is not a Gen Z body, so it's just okay. And then we are done for the skirt part of our work. So the next I'm cutting is the bodies. For these bodies, we're going to be having a princess cut out. Princess cut. So, like I told you, this is sewing without a pattern. This is what it means. We are doing a freehand cutting, so we are going to be making necessary adjustments, being that we are directly having our measurement on our fabric. So the next thing is to measure. The first thing is to measure her, take a neckline and a shoulder measurement. The dress has a small line, so I'm just going to use 4, unlike the regular 3x3. Then I'm going to deepen it by 3 inches. 3 inches. So I'm just So I want you to see what I'm doing. I like to I'm doing. So I've cut that the neck. Her shoulder measurement is 16. 16 plus half inch. Don't forget, if it was a plan, you would have cut exactly the person's measurement, do the necessary adjustments, and then when you're cutting on fabric, you had the allowances. But here you have to add the allowances to our cut. So here her shoulder is 8 inch. I'm adding half inch to it. Her half shoulder is 8 inches. Then here I'm just going to slant by 1 inch. We've already done the neckline, so I'm going to slant to my neckline. The next thing, I'm taking her armhole measurement. We have a calculation that works for us. We use armhole shoulder to nipple minus 2 inches. So if you get the accurate shoulder to nipple of your client or for yourself, you just take shoulder to the nipple measurement minus 2 inches. If it is 9, shoulder to nipple is 9, your armhole depth will be 7. Then here we're just adding, one is 10, so add 10 minus 2 is 8, then half inch for sewing. It will make, that will be 8.5. 8.5. So 8.5, that's what we have there. Then I'm adjusting the tape to where 8 is, which is our original armhole measurement. I'm taking the middle point of that armhole. So the next thing is I'm marking out the half armhole. I'm putting our exact measurement there. So connecting that half armhole to the shoulder measurement, we'll have that. Then her bust measurement is 38. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. So 9.5. On 9.5, we'll also connect point, this half point to the bust measurement point. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. I'm just teaching. So if you have any thing to tell me, please drop it in the comment section. And if you haven't liked so far, please like our content so that we'll keep bringing out more. I'm just adding 2 inches for sewing allowance. The next thing is I'm taking her shoulder to her down of bust. Her shoulder to her down of bust is 14 inches plus half inch measurement will have 14.5. Please don't forget that half inch, so that it may have a slight effect, not necessarily a big one, but it will have a slight effect. Then the next measurement is shoulder to her waist. Shoulder to her waistline is 17. 17 plus half inch makes 17.5. Then half inch to join this main piece to the this main piece to the skirt. We have 18 inches altogether. So I hope you get the calculation. Half inch for joining the shoulder back to front, and half for joining the waist to the skirt. So is that clear? I believe it's clear enough. So now here I'll mark out shoulder to the nipple line. It's very important to us. So shoulder to the nipple line. Now we're just going to get on with the princess cut. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nipple to nipple measurement. A nipple to nipple measurement is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'll just add 2 inches. Don't forget 2 lines. Don't forget this is what it means to do a free hand. So we've divided a nipple to nipple, and it's the bust span is 4. Then I'm just adding 1/4 of an inch for sewing it together. If you've been doing this freehand and you've never had it, you can add between half to 1/4. It will go a long way. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm taking 1 inch on this and 1 inch on the waist, on the two sides. So that's just what I'm doing. 1 inch. So I'm connecting the 1 inch of each point, the waist and the down of bust. I'm connecting it like so. Then the next thing is I'm going to come down this bust. This is the nipple line, the bust line. I'm going to come down by half 1 inch. That 1 inch is where my curve is going to just stop. See, like using your curve. So I'm just going to flip sides. So as you can see, there are actually more than one way to sew this breast tube. For some people, they take most of the measurement to one side, this side of the bodies, while for some this one just works. So I'm going to use this side. Maybe in another tutorial I'll just show you using the others method. So for this one, we're done with one part. So we're just going to, I want my princess dart to end at this half armhole. So what I just do is I'm going to no so I want my princess dart to end on that half armhole. So it can end lower, it can end upper. So this is what I'll just do. I'll connect using my curve rule to that point. See me just connect to that point. So you can see it's gradually coming out. So the difference between back and front is 1 inch. So the back is okay. The difference between back and front is what we're going to be putting here. So let's assume, not an assumption now, let's say that the shoulder to down of bust, shoulder to blouse waist is like to waist measurement. The shoulder cannot be the same. It's the bust in front, the protrusion of the bust in front, that will make the back measurement different. So since it is not a pattern, what we are not using pattern paper, we're just doing a freehand. So what we'll do in this freehand is that this measurement that the back is long, that the front is longer than the back width, put it at this point, 2 inches. Just know that this 2 inches is going to make the armhole short. So we're going to correct that by cutting it out using the back measurement after we're done. Do you understand? After we're done ironing and sewing this piece together, we'll just use the back measurement to correct all those plenty adjustments. And cutting out the armhole will make the back shorter, thereby making it balance out with the back. I hope that's clear. I'm not saying too much. So this is the 2 inches. On that 2 inches, we'll just draw another curve to the nipple line. So something I should let you know, as you can see, we'll just make a smooth curve here. Something I let you know. Now we're not going to be working with this. We're going to be working with this, in the sense that this last adjustment is to be what we need to sew when we're joining. So when we're cutting, you actually see what I'm saying. So on this, whatever we have here, we'll put it here, adding 1 inch, because by the time you cut out, this side will not be longer than this side if you cut exactly. So if you've used freehand before, you understand what I mean. So here now, we're just adjusting. We've adjusted the 2 inches. The 2 inches that were taken out of this place. So this is pretty much it. The next thing is to just add necessary sewing allowances. So here we added our bust before. We added our bust. Then once we cut out, something is going to be missing out of this place, about 1 inch we'll just assume it is an inch. Like I said, it is better is in excess, so that once you are done joining this piece, before turning with lining, just remeasure to be sure that you still have your correct measurement. It's better to be in excess than it is not enough. Then the next thing is we're adding the sewing allowance. So this is what you now have. Then the down of bust measurement is 33. 33 divided by 2 is 8 and 1/4. 8 and 1/4. This is what we have. Then whatever we have here, 2 inches, we're going to replace it back. We're going to be using 1 inch to sew to join this space. Then we're going to be needing 2 inches for the side allowance. So the same thing is what we'll do for the bust measurement. Bust measurement, waist measurement is 8.5, which is 4. Whatever we have here, 2 inches is replaced. 1 inch for sewing, and 2 inches again for general seam, side seam allowance. So we're just going to have a more perfect or more final what's it called, a more final draw. That's why I ignore this place, so that it doesn't shift. But not that it matters, because after you are done sewing, all these things will just come out in the person's shape. So we are done with the cutting. Next thing is to cut out the neckline. So I'm cutting out the shoulder. I'm cutting out. See what I said earlier. So as you can see now, I'm extending beyond the first line to cut. I just stopped at the second line. So I'm cutting out this bottom part. Okay. So see what I'm doing. So these 2 inches that we put at the armhole, we're cutting it out. You don't need it anymore. We're done with you. Done with it. So that's for that. So just keep cutting all the marked outlines. And the place that I'm just going to cut it out. Please tell me that wasn't easy. Just tell me it wasn't easy. See this opening here. So once if you are sewing, just start sewing from the bottom. As you are sewing from the bottom, you see that this will almost equal it, and then where it is not equal, you just snip it. But if you had not added this 2 inches allowance, look at where it would have stopped. You would have lost that 2 inches you added to the bottom. So that's just the concept of using the free hand, so that you don't run into any problems. So the next thing is cutting our back. So for our back measurements, what I say about the front length? The front length was 17, the back is 15. So what we will have is 15 plus 1 inch. 1 inch divided into 2, half to join the bottom part of the body to the skirt, and half to join the shoulder of the front to the shoulder of the back. It is that clear. So don't be wondering where I got 1 inch from. Please, if you are viewing, help us, like, comment. Let's see if we are doing well. I could give you battery. Just put your power on. Just let me do. Sorry for that break. So we're adjusting to get the measurements. We need 15 plus 1 inch, which is 16. So 16. This one will just do. So the first thing I like to do is I like to cut out and mark out the zip allowance. I like to cut out the mark out the zip allowance. The zip allowance I use for my freehand is 1.5. I beg, 1.5 is just what I need. 1.5. So I'm just cutting out, marking out the 1.5. 1.5. Now that we have our zip allowance, we'll just take our neck measurement. It was 4 inch I used. Then our shoulder measurement was 8 inches. I used 8.5. So we are doing almost everything we did for the front on the back. But the thing is, I'm not doing that process that at the back. It is just going to be a normal dart. So this is what I'm marking out the armhole. Like I said, armhole is 8.5. 8.5. 8.5. Then we're adjusting the half minus it because the shoulder measurement, the half measurement for the shoulder it doesn't minus. So just mark out 4 inches. Then put that exactly the exact armhole shoulder without adding. Then the next thing is I'm marking out the bust measurement. Bust measurement is bust measurement is 38. 38 is 9.5. 9.5. Then 2 inches. 2 inches. So 10.5. Then we just connect the curve rule. The curve rule. Then the back measurements, I'm going to be using 1.5. So we can use 1.5. You can use 1 inch. So it's all good depending on your preference. Then from here, just take the waist measurement. The waist measurement. Waist measurement is 15 plus 1 inch seam allowance, or half 16. So as you can see, I'm not talking about down of bust at the back because we don't have bust at the back. Some people might have bust at the back. It's not me that said that. So the next thing is to mark out half an inch, then go up by 9 inches. That smooth curve. We don't want any bulkiness at the back, so we're just cutting it out. So the waist measurement is 34. 34 is 8.5. Then we're taking 1 inch for that. Then 2 inches allowance. Capi? This is very clear. So I'm just joining that. So this back, if I want that kind of a corset back where you have that yoke opening at the back, I'm not going to cut out any yoke, but I can create that design from neckline. I'll just mark out 1.5. So by the time we finish sewing, use half to sew down, use half to sew, we'll be having about 1.5. So I'll just draw it out. Then from here, I'll just mark out 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches, depending on how much opening you want. So go also to the armhole line and also mark the 4 inch. Then just join the straight line. So from this, you can have that curve if you like. If it's a straight cut you want, you can just create it. Even before cutting out, you can see how lovely it is. But it's going to have a zipper bag, so we're just doing that as a design so that the back is not just plain. You know, the front, the dress is to the top of the neck, so there's no much design on the neck. So I just don't want that back to just be also cover up. So we're done cutting, we're done with this back. No, no. All right. It's not recording. So we are basically done cutting the back as well. So it doesn't have to be corset to have this back at all. So you can have your regular normal busty and have this back, and you don't have to cut it out as yoke and the bodies. So we are done. Wow, we've done with the front cutting, we're done with the back, we're done with the skirt. So it's to just cut out your lining for it, and the next thing is the sleeve. So the sleeve is a puff sleeve. So the first thing I always do is, in order to just get the exact measurement, you know, if you decide to end the sleeve before the measurement, the problem you have is when the person start adding allowance, you will not be able to extend it. Like the allowance for the bodies will not be useless, because the sleeve, you cannot extend the sleeve because the sleeve ended just on that person's old measurement. So what I do is I just measure the armhole, the entire thing I have here. I have 12, so that's just going to be perfect for me. That's what I'll work with. When I'm cutting out the armhole, when I'm cutting out the sleeve, rather, please forgive me, when I'm cutting out the sleeve, I just allow the armhole to guide me. So this sleeve is something I would call a 2-in-1 sleeve. Like the big gathered parts will be separately cut out, while the normal regular short sleeve will be cut out. So this normal regular short sleeve will be the base that will pleat out that puffy big size gather on. So I believe you got me. Unlike when it doesn't have a base, the outcome is usually not as pretty as what you saw on the picture. So the first thing is we'll create a base. Like I said, what we measured just now is 12 times 2 is 24. So here now I have 24. So I'm just going to fold back so you can manage as much as possible. So this is what I have. So this is what I have. So I'm going to be using 9 inches. 9 inches for this base. 9 inches. So 9 inches. Then, like I said, it's 12 inches. We may not need up to 12 inches by the time we create our curve. So what I do, our half armhole was 4 inches. Our half armhole was 4 inches. So I'll just add 1 inch to it to make 5. So we have 5 inches. Then the next thing I do is I mark out 3 inches to create that curve. That curve is steep, so I use between 2 and 3 inches. So from there on, I just connect the curve, this point, to that 3 inches mark line. Then I create a smooth curve. So you can see our sleeve is practically ready. I told you we do easy DIY here. If you try it out and it doesn't work, tell me, then I will know what to tell you, because I've been using this pattern for years. So here now I'm just going to measure out the 12 inches I'm looking for. So just follow the curve, and then wherever 12 inches in, I'll just mark it. Don't forget, at this point is allowance. Every other thing is just seam allowance. Then the next thing is the armhole, the round curve, the sleeve round at the bottom of this place is 13. 13 is 6.5. 6.5. Then we had 2 inches. We had 2 inches. You see? Of course, this is simpler than you thought. I bet next time you cut it differently. So I just notch out that middle point. So we have our base. So now you want a big puff, like as in a big puff. That's the only design on the cloth. So it should be as big as possible, as big as you want. So a big puff has never done anybody any wrong. So if your fabric permits, just give it a big puff, so you can move around at the party, just swapping through. So this is what you have. So this is our big puff. So measure, we're going to measure, or we're going to use the sleeve to check how big we've gotten. Okay. So we can see the excess. We are in excess of 8 inches. 8 inches is big enough, and then this bottom is 7. It is just big enough. Like, you can use as much fabric, as much wideness, and as much length as you want. So I'm just going to cut it out like this. Just going to cut it out like this. Then I'm just going to open the bottom. Okay, so what you do, by the time you gather here, you also gather here. You see that it comes, the bulkiness comes out very well. So we're done for this cutting. We are thankful that you came through for us. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate you so much for being part of our life, and we hope that you learned something today. Like, if this is something you like us to do often, we just cut out clothes life, no it, please let us know. Let us know so that we can keep creating things that you like to watch and learn from. So if you haven't liked our video yet, if you haven't liked this live, please do. It will really mean a lot to us. Like, we are doing our best to give you your data's worth of value. So please, we are so glad that we had you here today. So on the next live, we'll be sending out messages. This was just like, let's do it. Let's see how it's going to come out. This was just like a test run, and we hope you love our test run. So, guys, bye.